Welcome back to HBO Girls Rewatch.
I'm Amelia Retaller.
And I'm Evan Lazarus. And today we're doing a vintage intro.
Yeah, you know what? For many weeks, we've been covering Broad City, and we thought, what if we took a rest and dived into the past, walked down memory lane, revisited an old episode of Girls, because we have been dying to have Teeny on the pod,
Right.
and Teeny has never seen Broad City.
I think we need 7 more ways to generate us watching Girls again, like different ways of saying that.
You were like, and then we met
Talking
someone
to
at
old
the park,
friends, yeah.
and we really had to revisit the Panic at Central Park app. But yeah, we're so excited to dive into Girls. I think it'll be fun for everybody at home.
Well,
It's gonna be fun for us.
It's like really when I look at the photos behind us, it feels like my memories. Like it is so.
I know. Like even talking about an episode of Girls now feels like it's a part of my history.
Part of my life.
Yeah.
I will rewatch sometimes just like episodes for pleasure, not just for educational purposes. But
now that I can watch Girls again for pleasure, it's like
I laugh so hard, it's crazy.
I'm cracking up, and then I'm not taking any notes. I'm just like just having fun.
Well, we've become so parasocial with these characters. So when they talk, we register as like as your best friend would talk to you. And when your best friend says anything, it's always so much funnier. We've entered that level of relationship with this show. So it's like
that's my friend Hannah.
Literally, I'm in my kitchen, I'm dying laughing at like a course of a conversation that Shoshanna had like in season 3, and my roommates are coming in, they're like, what is going on? It's like, I'm just talking to old friends.
That really is what it feels like, because psychologically it's the same thing where it's like an email feels like I'm in war. It's like anything that happens in the plot of Girls is something that happened to me.
Right.
Anyways,
it's
how are you today, Evan?
My life.
You're famously bad.
I'm famously
peek behind the curtain.
I'm famously being bad. My energy's off.
But you finally got Vyvanse.
Well, not even. I got Adderall. I had to go to the queer clinic where I finally got a gay doctor, something I've been hoping and praying for my whole life, at the free clear clinic in Chelsea called Callum Lord. I walk in, he's like, oh, are you receiving or giving penis? And he goes, oh, wait, sorry, top or bottom?
What? He said that?
Yeah.
Are doctors allowed to talk like that?
Yeah, which was so funny. He's trying to be casual with me because he had glasses.
Top or bottom? The one doctor I went to twice, so he's my primary care to me. I'll never see him again. Was a gay guy, and he was like the most comforting man I've ever experienced in my life. Like, he is home to me.
Yeah, of course.
I gotta go back there sometime, but I don't know how my insurance works.
All people should have gay doctors, gay guy doctors.
I think doctors should only be gay, or they should be Meredith Grey.
Well, they're surgeons. They can be straight. That's okay, because you don't really have to interact with them. Well, I guess you do.
If you're gonna be under, it's like don't worry. But if
I'm gonna talk about someone getting on PrEP, it's like they better be gay.
Wait, we have to talk about the fact that my hair straightener from high school broke this morning, and I had to text the chat of the group chat of the house and be like, does anybody have a straightening iron? Because the one from 9th grade that I bought that is purple and sparkly stopped working today.
Did you give a class presentation on?
I literally took speech in 9th grade, and we had to give a presentation, like a how-to presentation, and I beautifully chose to give a how-to presentation on how to straighten your hair.
Right.
Which was so cool. That class was awesome because everybody in it was a senior boy on the football team and me.
Oh my God.
And I was such a bitch. I was Liz Gillis. I was Jade West or whatever, like that character in that class. And then every time like it was time to like actually give a speech, I'd be like, Full House cast, where are they now? Like,
well, I think the male equivalent of tying a tie for girls is straightening your hair. Like that series of videos, like every guy has watched a how to tie a tie, Windsor knot, 40 to 70 times on YouTube trying to perfect a craft.
Every girl has watched so many videos on how to make a straightening iron curl your hair.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's the same craft that's being concurred. It's been a riddle that everyone has to face in order to enter adulthood.
Just know on the L train here, the bottom of my hair was straightened and the top of it was natural blowout. And as soon as I got in the house, I said, Super Kira, save the day.
What does natural blowout mean to you? Wind?
No, like a natural blowout is when you blow dry your hair and it's just puffy.
Oh.
And it's not curly, it's not straight, it's not even that wavy. It's
I love
just
learning
big.
terms.
Yeah, and it's not a known term.
That's gonna stick with me to the day I die.
Should we dive straight into the episode?
Oh my god, please, yeah.
Okay. Frost himself joining us on the couch today from Survivor 47. It's Teeny Chill.
Hello.
Oh my god, this is so amazing to have you on the pod.
No, like I am just thrilled to be here.
We
I'm
are
honored.
literally so excited.
Dude, like I was watching this podcast last year while I was going through casting for Survivor, and I was like, can they just slow down the rollout of the girls episode so that I can like make it on and like when I get like my micro following from hopefully being on the show. So it is just like such an honor. I love you guys.
Well, you came to our first ever live girls show.
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
my
and
God.
then you were like, I love Survivor. I want to be on it one day. And I was like, yes, you totally should be. And then literally it was the season finale of 46 and they like show you on a rock in the credits to like plug the next season. I literally screamed.
Yeah.
I DM'd you. You didn't see it because I think you were on the island.
Mhm. I have the screenshot though. I screenshotted it when you sent me it when I was like
Oh.
on the plane ride home from playing.
I literally lost my shit. I was like, New York is where dreams come true.
Literally, you were the first person ever asked to take a selfie with both of us.
Stop, really?
Yeah, legit.
It's funny because like I was not aware. When I bought tickets to the event, I thought it would be like a live podcast.
And everyone does.
Yeah,
Everyone
right?
does.
Always does.
And I brought my sister, and then I kind of like realized what was happening while I was there. But like that was like the best comedy show I've ever been to.
Oh
my
my
God.
god.
It was
That
amazing.
is so
I had only
nice.
ever gone to like I lived in the Upper East Side for a year, and I lived by this like comedy place, and it was just like grown men making like the worst, most elementary like homophobic jokes. So that was the first time I ever
No.
like had an intro to like your guys' comedy scene, and it like changed everything. I followed all of the comedians. Like I'm so on it now.
Yes. Wait.
That's a million people's stories, by the way.
Yeah, because
And not our show, but in general, it's like people are so used to like
People
this
think
really
a guy is
specific
gonna be
comedy
evil.
in Manhattan, right? Like
Yeah.
this evil Manhattan men talking about these contrived jokes that are based
Yeah.
in homophobia, and then they see one show where like someone in Brooklyn's acting a little crazy and clownish, and they're
Yes.
like, "Oh wait, I can laugh and smile."
Yeah. And your parents were there.
They
I
can do a
remember.
collab post to laugh and smile.
oh my god, yeah, your
Mhm.
parents were there, and we were like, bruh.
The first and last time my parents have ever seen one of my comedy shows.
rug, right?
I remember that.
It's all flooding back, and this is so fun for you guys at home too.
Come to one of their shows and you'll get it.
We haven't done one since.
We got it. We gotta do one again.
We'll do one.
Yeah.
I don't. My thing is, it's like, well, because and you had the same thing where it's like we are a podcast, but yet we are hosting live stand-up shows.
It's
is-
like misleading.
It's misleading, but interesting and cool.
It's like a fun booby trap.
It's
yeah.
like if you were like, I host
Do
a
a
bingo
Survivor
night.
reference. No, do a Survivor reference because
Well,
I don't know anyone.
What do you
It's like
mean?
if you had this totem of safety, and
the
then
totem of safety.
The totem.
I've
of
only seen one episode of
safety
Survivor.
Is the I love that.
Are you bored of talking about Survivor, or
No.
you could talk about it for the rest of your life?
I could talk about it forever.
It's so cool it happened to you. Now,
Yeah.
I do always want to know because sometimes if I don't have a second coffee, I get a migraine. And I worry about the people on Survivor, like if they drink coffee, but then they go there and they're not eating, like they never are giving any coverage about how y'all have headaches.
Well, a lot of people like detox from caffeine if they're like super dependent on it in like the coming month before playing, which is like good advice. I don't drink coffee every day, so like that wasn't that. I don't know. I feel like with any kind of like the depravity of Survivor, like you have no choice and you kind of know what you're signing up for. So like the hunger sucks. It was harder than I thought it'd be. Like it sucks to not be able to have alcohol, except for like sometimes I did and I got wasted on the show. But like in general, you just kind of know you're not going to have access to it. So I think that like really liberates you from like the shackles of like being dependent on or beholden to something like that,
Right.
you know?
Damn, I guess I never thought about
I
people
love that
pre-gaming.
you're like the one big thing holding you back from Survivor is no caffeine.
Well, it is. You remember that one person on season 46 that was like, I missed my vape. I gotta leave.
Hannah Rose, Supremacy. I love her so much. Yes.
Well, have you ever tried a Juul before? It does change your life for a little.
Certainly.
I will say.
know.
So what would cause me not to go on Survivor? I think a myriad of things. I don't think I can like be away from Wi-Fi. Short form media, I think it would
I
kill me.
know.
I'm like, I
But
can't.
to know you're making short form and long form media while you're there.
Right, totally.
Yeah, that's like one of the most interesting parts about it is like it is definitely by and large the most offline experience I ever had going to Fiji for like a month and a half without any access to my phone. But it's served as the foundation for like the most online experience of my life
Yeah.
in terms of like watching it back, being a part of the discourse, like doing, like it's a wild like flip of the script. It's weird.
Yeah, you're like, I unplugged and now I'm more plugged in than ever.
Exactly.
Well, this has to be how Hannah feels while she's on retreat.
We got you. It's perfect that you're here discussing Queen for 2 days.
Right, exactly.
Because Hannah kind of escapes and she can't seem to leave her phone alone. You know what I mean?
No one can.
I haven't. What's the guy's name? Brandon Scott Jones?
Yes.
Totally.
The guy who yells at him, the only person that's allowed to play gay on TV.
Should we do a quick recap of the episode?
Yeah, a little quick recap.
Should we throw it back to our 20 seconds each thing?
No, never again.
Okay. I'll do a quick summary. Feel free to jump in at any point, you two. So Hannah and her mother, Lorene, are going upstate to a woman's like wellness retreat for the weekend to really figure out like whether or not Hannah's mom should divorce
Tad.
And Hannah, of course, like is really mad at Fran because she's like, Fran's so nice, but he's also a fucking cuck and I'm so mad and I feel choked by him. And then she has lesbian sex with the cool, chill teacher. But then she like gets really intense and is like, let me finish. And Hannah's like, I don't want to do this for even 30 more seconds. And then Lorene tells all the girls named Kathy at the retreat that like her husband's gay. And they're like, that sounds awesome. And she's like, yeah, maybe I guess I'll just stay with him. Meanwhile, B plot, Adam and Jessa are totally together now. Fucking. They're doing role play, whatever. Lola Kirk, what's her name in the episode? Lila?
Minnie.
Wait, stop. Is that her real sister?
Yeah.
Wow.
So Jemima's sister, Lola, plays Minnie, and Minnie is like a really sexually
liberated Scottish woman.
Scottish?
Yeah.
Okay, and then they all go to dinner, Adam, Jessa, and Mimi. And Jessa's like, Minnie. And then Minnie is like, I'm not going to pay for you to be a therapist because you've never committed to anything in your whole life. And Adam's like, that's my wife you're talking about. I'll pay for your school. And Jessa's like, ooh, okay. Meanwhile, Shoshanna is working at a cat cafe in Japan, and Abigail,
the second largest cat cafe in Japan.
Yeah, true. She's like the assistant manager.
And Abigail, her former boss, played by
Aidy Bryant,
shows up and is like, oh my god, wait, you're kind of living your real life here. And she's like, let me show you around Tokyo. So they have an amazing day together where they get their feet eaten by fish. They try stuff that is umami coated. And Yoshi, Shoshanna, and Abby all have an amazing dinner together. Oh no, but Shoshanna's kind of realizing her life isn't what she thought it was after Yoshi goes to the bathroom and she thinks she wants to go back home.
And Abigail's like, yes, girl, you're in cyberspace right now.
No, you're in Katy Perry's vagina.
Yeah. And that's the episode.
That's literally, and then Hannah, yeah, that's the episode.
We nailed it.
Well, we did. You know what? We nailed it. We nailed the Netflix style TV show. The way though.
What does that mean?
That's the whole premise. Is like they actually no one can bake a cake.
No one can bake a cake.
Do you know the show Nailed It on Netflix?
No.
And speaking of riddles, it sounds like, okay, well.
Yeah, I'm like, sorry, are you experiencing the same thing I am?
Nailed It, starring Nicole Byer.
That took me out of it. I was so in. I was hanging on every word. Yeah. That took me out.
Well, you guys don't know this TV show?
No.
Okay, so for me, it's a real franchise that kicked off Netflix reality competition shows.
We nailed it. Like the show nailed it on Netflix.
Right, where it's like their concept of nailing something isn't real.
Thanks for decoding.
Is this the episode, or is this a show where they make people who can't cook?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I love that.
And they give them impossible tasks to solve and make.
I love the Netflix reality programming section.
Well, it is interesting how almost all their competition shows are revolving around cake.
It is cool that we've done that. Wait, so what's your journey with girls? When did you see it first?
So I saw it for the first time senior year of high school. I had wanted to watch it for a long time before that, but didn't have an HBO subscription. Senior year of high school, I found like one of those like websites where you could watch any show.
Oh yeah.
And so I would watch it like at any moment in time when I could. I would sit in the back of my AP Psych class with like headphones in watching girls.
You're like, this is actually Psych class.
Exactly. I was like, this is teaching me so much more about the human condition than whatever's on screen right now. And all my friends would sit around me and they'd be like, why the fuck are you watching that? And then like last year they all watched it. And of course, like
they were like, you were right all along.
Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I watched it senior year of high school. And then I think I've watched it rewatched it to some capacity every single year since. I've seen it in full, like maybe 3 full times, and then I've watched a lot of like the seasons over again.
Oh my! Can I tell you the same exact story with Sex and the City? I one time took a 10 p.m. Earth Science class in the farthest building on my college campus, and it was just me and 10 other frat brothers who were all in the same frat. And I watched all of the Sex and the City when they were talking about rocks. I was learning about the real hard truth.
Exactly.
About Samantha.
I remember watching every single episode of Sex and the City in my Earth Science class at 10 p.m.
Sex and the City.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't give anything away.
I know. That was another booby trap I just set up.
Our premise for Sex and the City is asexual in the city.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
That's good.
Talk about it.
Good.
It's like none of us are in love.
The sex negative generation talking about Sex and the City.
It's a good angle.
It's really interesting. Well, we don't have, we'll talk about it later. Because my whole thing is like I actually can't even for me, anytime I enter even close to something called a relationship, it sends me into psychosis, and Amelia can't even get her heart on.
Evan keeps having like a clinical reaction to the people they're dating, where it's like your body's rejecting them.
If I go on more than 2 dates with someone, it will keep me up at night, and I will go into psychosis. I will like have wild dreams, and I can't sleep at all. I don't know what is wrong with me.
Is it like, I don't know. I mean, I've had the like kind of, would you classify it under like a commitment phobia type experience?
No, I'm actually be obsessed with commitment. I think I have an anxious attachment style, and I'm attracted to people with avoidant attachment style, and it keeps deregulating me every single time. And I actually have to stop choosing people based off when they reject me or like aren't being as committed as I am. I keep following that and like get the small amount of rewards that keeps me coming back and back again. So maybe I should date the person I find boring at first.
The curious case of the anxious and the avoidant. Like,
yeah. Wait, did you study psychology?
No, I studied girls in the back of psychology class.
I'm like, did that start the beginning of a journey?
Right.
No, I didn't. But being like in like the lesbian adjacent part of like the New York metropolitan, I feel like you have to have a PhD in like anxious, like attachment style.
You have to know what's going on.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I literally took an attachment style test for the 4th time this year at 3 a.m. And again, it came up as secure, which to me is devastating to hear.
You're laying next to your date.
Yeah.
But are you answering the questions to like try and get secure? Or are you being like super honest?
I'm like, please tell me I'm anxious.
That's hilarious.
I'm begging. I think the thing is, it's like in my relationship with my family and my relationship with my friends, I'm very secure. It's just when I'm in a dating situation, that's when I have an anxious attachment style. So every day of my life, I could be fine if I choose myself over anyone else.
Right.
But if I go, I go ahead and try to open up my heart, it will lead to devastation.
Wait, this is a fun game. What's everyone's attachment style?
Well, secure, except if I go on 2 dates with a man.
What about you?
I'm like classically avoidant, but like recovering avoidant.
Yeah. Recovering avoidant. And I'm, what is it?
Like we keep making eye contact.
I'm like, there was an electricity in the room.
Amelia's attachment style has 3 scary buzzwords.
It's like
avoidant, detached, disorganized.
Disorganized, anxious,
when we start
avoidant.
getting into that, like,
and it's like, no, I feel really grounded.
Right.
How dare you? Enough about attachment styles. We have to ask you the question we ask all our guests.
We actually have one grievance before we get into it.
Well, you can't. I set up the tone and the energy so well.
But I have a grievance with our guest, and I have to bring it up.
What?
Teeny is constantly posting the hottest gay men you've ever seen on Earth on their Instagram story, and I haven't been featured once.
Wait, who? What?
Teeny knows a plethora of a million hot gay men, and I'm not featured once. It's devastating.
You will be featured now, and also I cannot wait to set. I'm gonna literally screen record and clip this and send this to them. But mostly it's my best friend Greg, who is like the hottest man alive. He lives in Williamsburg. He's just you'll see him now. You'll see him. You'll know to look out for him.
Anyone wants to see Greg's Instagram? Check out Teeny's.
Exactly. Literally. Yep.
Follow Teeny to stay up to date on Greg.
That's hilarious. Holy shit.
Well, I'm gonna literally start taking thirst traps and send them directly to you.
You don't even have to. I'll see it on Instagram. Now that I know I have permission to do it, I will repost it.
Of course, you always do. Your 35K needs to see me.
That's the funniest part is like before I like gained this like Survivor niche following, like I would post Greg to try and like bring up my clout points, but now I'm like, hey, it's kind of like turntable a
Yeah,
little
he's
bit
taking you
here
down.
now.
You're on brunch with Greg and you're like, yeah, how's it feel? The tables have turned.
Yeah.
He's paying you for sponsored posts.
It's just like the most wild people in my DMs ever saying the most wild things. I'm just funneling them straight to his, like texting him all of them. It's so funny.
Yeah, your requests must be really cool and awesome.
They're really funny.
I
And
love
they are
it.
cool, but some of them are like really out of pocket and unhinged, and it's super entertainment for me.
Yeah, no, that's
Well,
important.
you have eyes you could get lost in.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you
Oh my
really
God.
were. You were like the teen heartthrob of this season of
Yeah.
Survivor.
Thank you.
The teen heartthrob.
Literally.
You're teen. When you're non-binary, you're teen.
Well, weren't you the youngest by a lot?
Yes, but like there was someone who was 24 and I was 23.
Who was 24?
Sam.
Oh, but he gives 28.
He does. I was shocked when he said he was 24.
But it's just because he's tall. When that fire went out, like the
know.
way I was like wine drunk and texting you in all caps, like, this is homophobic win.
I know. But like as it turns out, I'm like way more at peace with that outcome.
Right.
Totally. I mean, you seem to have taken it well. You made it to the finale.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you hate to win though?
No.
No.
I would not hate to win.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, but you can never be the victim if you win.
That's true.
And how would you be a real Hannah? No, let's ask you the question.
Okay, yeah, now let's ask.
Okay. Yeah.
Teeny,
Teeny.
girl, what girl are you?
Pure bliss. Oh my God. That is like as surreal as finding out I was on Survivor. Was that? Okay, so I'd love to do this like in the context of the episode and then like at large.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so within the context of the episode, to some degree, I do feel like Hannah here because like I would also want to be on that phone at the retreat. And I think that like if the retreat is going to have a rule that's like you can't be on your phone, they should collect your phone.
Absolutely.
If you're giving me the option, if you're keeping it on my person, then you can't police me like that. But I also think I'm not Hannah because like being at a retreat with like all middle-aged divorcees is like heaven to me. And she was like not about it. So I actually think I was more Shoshanna in this case scenario because Shoshanna is like kind of in the middle of like this giant chapter. She's living in a foreign country and she's kind of coming to terms with the fact that like it's over and it's not what it's cracked out to be. And I feel I relate to that right now, just in the terms of like, I just did this like huge, crazy, wild life thing and now it's completely over. And it's like, I'm just being
Right.
plopped back into reality and it's like startling.
You're so Shoshana post Japan.
That's how I feel,
Yeah.
truly. So, and I don't relate to Shoshana. Like now, if we're doing like just in general, I feel like I'm 0% Marnie, 0% Shoshana most times. But in this episode, in like this part of her arc, I very much relate to. In general, I feel I'm definitely a Hannah, as I was compared to by that
Yeah.
TikTok that I've been said 100 times.
I guess I could see what they were saying.
Yeah. She also like her haircut in this episode, especially when she's like dancing and like kind of sweaty. I'm like, that's actually what my hair looks like at all times. Like just like a Lego piece, like just like pressed into her head. And then I feel like I have like Adam's intensity about things and like his weird physicality.
Totally.
And I'd say those are kind of the two. And like I have some layered in me also.
yeah.
Wait, that's beautiful. I can. Well, first off, I do have to say it's like, well, for someone, if you can say you're Hannah all you want, but for someone to go ahead and make a TikTok video calling you Hannah is one of the most downright offensive things you could do.
I know. It is like, it's cool when somebody can sit on the couch and be like, I've thought about it and I'm a Hannah, rather than being like, so the internet has reached out and they have let me know I am a Hannah.
Well, it's like when you're like talking about yourself, you're like, I am such a faggot, and then someone directly calls you a faggot. You're like, well, those have completely different
Right.
meanings.
Yeah. To some degree, though, it's like an
Right.
honor. It's like an honor.
Yeah,
I'm
she's
like,
the
just to be,
queen.
just for my season of Survivor to be like compared to girls is like so perfectly crafted for me.
yeah.
Right.
And I wouldn't want anyone else to be the Hannah in that situation.
The way I was watching every episode, like, I hope they have a conversation at the campfire about girls.
I tried, but no one on my season watched it.
Oh my god,
None
really?
of them?
None of Caroline's now watching it.
Thank
Caroline
God,
is now watching it.
Caroline.
But I literally would bring it up like when we on my tribe brought it up, complete miss, except for Genevieve was like, I never watched it, but everyone tells me I look like that one girl.
Marnie.
Yeah. I was like, fuck, you actually do.
That's so funny.
And then I like got to the merge beach and there were like 11 new people there and I was like, girls, anyone seen it? And they're like, no, we like Game of Thrones, and I was like,
No.
Of course they like Game of Thrones.
yeah.
I only saw the one episode I saw Genevieve was in it in a big way.
Yeah.
It was Genevieve when they were like things were going really bad and they hadn't turned all around for her yet.
Right.
Yeah.
But I love she's also maybe Hannah coded and also Marnie coded. That's all, because A, she does look like Marnie, but B, the way she was able to talk about herself in such an absurd, pompous way. I was obsessed and addicted. I could listen to a woman talk like that all day.
She is an incredible orator.
I'm like, this season was really good. I didn't know you and Saul would get along so well.
Neither did I, but like that is my fucking man.
Wait, describe Saul.
They
SAW?
wore like matching
SOL.
scarves.
Oh my god, you guys wore matching scarves?
We wore matching suits with like a little like red ascot to the finale. He's just the best. He's the coolest guy ever.
He seems chill as soon as he got voted off and then was like sitting in his normal clothes like on the beach. I was like, wait, hi, you have a story to tell.
He
us.
walked in after being voted out, like, and you're allowed to like wear your normal clothes again, wearing like a vest with no shirt underneath, and just had almost like it looked like he did like 700 push-ups before he like put this vest on.
Yeah.
I was literally so goofed. It was crazy.
It's my normal clothing is also a vest with no shirt underneath. So
I understand
that.
You would love Saul. Y'all should talk, actually. Does he have a secure attachment style?
Yes.
Is he J-A-Y? Yay.
No, he's not. He's not. He's not even
that
bisexual.
That question confuses a lot of people. I actually immediately can do Amelia's girl. What girl are you this
what
episode?
girl am I this week?
You're Coco.
Who's Coco? The one that's like, I wish my husband was gay.
Oh.
Coco is a girl who's like, one time I drank so much water I almost drowned.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say when they're having the conversation about how she carries salt with her because she almost drowned from the inside out.
You're doing 75
Wait,
hard.
is she the one who they were like, are you the yoga instructor? And she was like, no, but like at home I do teach spin and yoga. that got
That's
me.
Coco.
LOL.
Everything about this trip got me because also I famously like went on a yoga retreat with a bunch of divorcees named Kathy.
Stop.
So it was like this episode's about me.
Well, I'm obsessed with the dynamic of Coco and those other women. I can think about that all day.
Yeah.
Because all those women they carry master's degrees and they're weaponizing those master's degrees against Coco just because she studied event planning in college. It's like, that's not fair to take it out on her.
Yeah. What girl are you this week?
I did do a lot of heavy thinking on this. I am going to go ahead and be Hannah.
Yeah, why though? Because you're addicted to your phone.
Well, that's the obvious truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone knew that
but
already.
Let's go a layer deeper.
If we go a layer deeper, if we dare to dig. If we dare to dig, I think I'm Hannah because, I mean, especially talking about just a whole attachment style thing earlier where it's like she really, she does not let herself be herself around her mother. Like she's entering the situation, she's immediately on guard when her mother's like, I paid for this really nice retreat for you. It's like, I'm not asking so much of you. But she's immediately like begrudged, in a bad mood. And it's like when all those women are talking about at dinner, like different meals they've had at different retreats, she's like, can we be present for a single second? And what she's truly saying in that situation is like, can we not be so vapid? Like, she's saying that because she's trying to like hold herself to a higher like level and caliber, because the way that she is separating herself from these other women is that she feels better than them. Partially she's like younger, she feels like she has a good relationship, and that's harkened to the fact of her conversation with her mother earlier where her mother's like, did me and my gay husband mess up your whole life? And she's like, no, I'm actually fine. And then she goes through the different layers of like having this real lesbian experience and just like letting herself open up to the retreat a bit more, and she's like, actually I'm so effed up.
Right.
And that story really resonated with me.
Whoa.
Beautifully said.
Yeah, when I am going through a bad time, I do think about myself a lot.
I got to the house this morning and Evan was like, I've been journaling.
I know. Well, my journaling now is I will ask ChatGPT for prompts and I'll fill them in and I ask it, how does that make you feel?
Oh my God, I use ChatGPT to make my vision board.
It's
how?
So
I watched this Australian girl tell me what questions to ask ChatGPT, and then like you type in this thing like, now create like buzzwords and visual images like to do it, and they did an amazing job. I really like what they've come up with.
Wait, so they gave you images?
They were like Google, or they were basically like, images that represent this or this or this. But I had to find the pics. It would have been cool if they were like, here's some PNGs you can download. One day, maybe next year, ChatGPT will get there.
So you guys go ahead during the ad break, look up some ChatGPT prompts, and we will see you after our first break.
Oh my God. It feels so good to get to pause on the broad and the butter and dive back into leaning into Lena. Yes.
I love her so much.
Let's talk Jessa. Jessa and Adam are fucking in a way that could only be described as what?
Awesome and cool.
Yeah, honestly.
Are you pro Jessa and Adam or anti?
Like, it kills me because of the Hannah betrayal, but I do think some of like the most beautiful connection seen on the show is like their interactions. Like, even just like she says, like after they did the role play thing and like they both just perfectly play their part in that. So like improvised and natural. And so she's like, you're brilliant.
Opposite of like Hannah when she wore that wig.
Yes, exactly. It's hard. I also think this episode exists in like the very brief time period where like they're kind of unbridled by the guilt of Hannah and the shame of it because she's already kind of like cut off the friendship in the episode before, but like Hannah doesn't know yet. So we get this like little peek at them just existing in like the forbidden romance liberation that they're in. And I think it feels so hopeful and good. Right. And it also, beyond even just him offering to pay for the school, like just him like not forcing her to ask to come to the dinner with the sister, like him just being like, no, I'll come. And like it being so casual was really like, yeah, like you fall in love with Adam. You really do.
I think they like went into this episode and they were like, we're gonna write it showing that they do work. Because I feel like there is like this thing of like, whoa, they're finally gonna fuck. Like, is it gonna be awkward? Is it gonna be bad? Is it immediately just gonna be like, oh, whatever? But it's like, no, like there's an actual vibe there.
And there's one rule of Lena Dunham's writing is that only one couple can be happy at a time. And this episode, it happens to be Jessa and Adam, which is awesome because we're not seeing that for Hannah. She's pissed the hell off with Fran. And she's like, why can I connect with this nice guy? Shoshana is so unhappy in her like great relationship.
Oh, yeah. Lena Dunham loves to be like either 0 or one person can be happy at a time.
I love that.
It makes for good TV.
So I'm meant to believe that the sister is a bitch, right? Like from this interaction. But at the same time, I am like, okay, but why would the sister pay for her like,
and it is like
school?
She's not saying one single lie when she's like, Jessa, you've never stuck to anything. Exactly. I can't like go into thousands of dollars of debt for every whimsy you're on. Like, grandma already cut you off. I'm not gonna make her cut me off because of you. Like, if I was Minnie, I would say the exact same thing to Jessa.
So I feel like that was more of just like okay, so we're gonna like walk Adam into being the hero in the situation.
I love when she's like, okay, Romeo. Like Romeo.
I will say I agree with you guys. Like, you're not a bitch to set a boundary, absolutely. But when Minnie is talking about how she's going through a divorce, and because her trust fund doesn't count as income, she still is getting matrimony payments after.
Well, that's just objectively hilarious.
It's hilarious, LOL. But also, it's like this woman is now rolling in money. She doesn't really, it seems like, have to work a day in her life. She's living in a very specific situation that Jessa was living in as well.
Right.
And she doesn't necessarily have empathy for Jessa messing that up, even though she's been like the beneficiary.
Rich people are totally like that.
Yeah.
It's telling the truth.
It is like, this is Succession for girls on with ADHD.
Yeah. I mean, this really is AP Psych.
It's truly.
Yeah. Let's hop over to Shoshana and Abigail taking the town over.
Can you say spinoff?
Can you say spinoff? Wait, what was Aidy Bryant's thing? She's like, I would totally watch Yosh and Shosh take the city when I had the flu.
Yeah, every single line of Abigail's dialogue in this show is brilliant. Like it's like I'm hitting my head. I'm just like, how are they so good? How are they so good at writing this?
It's unreal, and I need Aidy Bryant to come up with another show.
I know.
It's like we got
her delivery. When Shoshanna starts crying, she's like, "Oh, it's not like you're fully crying next to me." Like, so good.
It's so fucking good. And like she plays this character that's kind of like dumb. Like she's so afraid and like doesn't really see the world that she's gonna sit in a McDonald's for 3 days to like feel safe. But then it's like she is kind of genius, especially when Yosha's like, "I can't wait for us to lose our virginity together," and she's like, "That is so cool." Yes.
Like big milestone for a relationship. Just even like her facial reaction, like she's just brilliant. She's so good.
It's also like that is such a type of like girl who's like 3 years older than you that like lives in the city and is kind of basic, and you talk to her and she's trying so hard to be supportive of like a younger person, but is like, "You're weird," but then she's like, "I actually am chill as fuck."
Exactly.
I love it.
Well, it's like the thing is, Abigail's actually really courageous and she doesn't give herself enough credit. Like, she is willing to put herself out there. We see this at the end of the show with Ray. Like, she is so forward with Ray as they like walk around Brooklyn to make his documentary that he's always dreamed of. So I do find it interesting that she like has that conversation where she's like, "I just want to sit at McDonald's the whole time I'm here," which is so American. I love.
Yeah, well, I think it's like to play up like when she sent shows to Japan. She's like,
Right.
"I will not be going there," but you should. It is
also, like, why did she just show up?
No,
like,
and they really flew her out. Like they were shooting in Japan.
They flew her out to get Shosh out of Japan.
Yeah, she was in contracts. They had to get her out there.
I bet Aidy Bryant was just like, "Listen, I'd love a trip.
Truly.
Let me go."
And she delivered on it.
And she delivered. Also, apparently, I remember watching the Inside the episode of this where it's like them getting their feet eaten by little fish, like really happened to them, and they were scared.
That's hilarious.
And I'm like watching this episode, and I'm like, "Oh my God, Zasha really knows how to act because she seems comfortable as fuck."
That's hilarious.
But I love it. I love the little schoolgirls. I love the Japan thing, the Katy Perry's vagina. What else happens? What do they get up to?
There's a million things.
They go to the bathhouse.
The bathhouse, which I love. But then it's like the whole point of it is like we're building up to the fact that like even though there's all this glitz and glam to it, Shoshanna's realizing like how empty she feels and how much she actually does not feel at home here.
You can only be stimulated for so long, right? Like, I think Japan is just a very stimulating environment with all the like kawaii girls walking around. Like, yeah, that's gonna be mystifying and magical, and you're gonna romanticize that for so long.
Right.
But it's just like Carrie when she's in Paris. Like, she's walking around, she's having the best time of her whole life. She's always imagined herself in Paris, like with her Russian boyfriend. Like, things are perfect. But after she's in Paris for 2 weeks, you know, the first thing she wants to do, go home with Big back to America, right? We really romanticize these places in our brain. We're like, I could start my whole life here, but it is the classic trope. It's like you bring your problems wherever you go.
It's
Wherever
like
you go,
Emily in
there you
Paris. Yeah.
No,
has
but
to go back to Chicago.
But she never has to.
I've never seen that show.
No, the thing is, she's the one girl that actually made it to Paris.
She made it. Did you study abroad
Despite
in
her
college?
background.
No.
Okay, yeah, me either. But it's like Canada was abroad enough.
Well, the thing
You were
about studying abroad is
Yeah.
like you're not abroad. Like, you are abroad, you're in a different country, absolutely, but you're with 12 of your closest friends in a dorm with everyone's from America. So it's like you're kind of microdosing Europe in a real way. You're not it's not the full experience. And that's why people really are moved by it and always have a good time, because they're coddled by it, right? And people think that's a similar experience if like one moves to London. So many Americans move to London being like, it's like America. I can start my life over here.
Our favorite runner, Kate Glavin's there right now.
Yeah, exactly. Our favorite runner. But the thing about London actually has the highest rate of people moving back to America because they think it's going to be so much like America because they speak English there, but it's a complete culture shock for them.
Well, this is my experience in Canada because I'm like, it's right there.
Right.
It won't be so
Exactly.
different. And then everybody there is different than me.
This is so off topic, but I do have to bring it up to you.
What?
I was on LinkedIn applying to jobs, and there was a community management role for a new AI company that connects people based off like interests that it finds in its database. The first person it connected me to, and I just applied to a role, but it did send me an email trying to connect me to someone, was a 35-year-old butch elder lesbian. Wait,
Elder lesbian.
No,
me too.
He was what is it called? Lumbersexual elder millennial with 2 children who watch Bluey.
Hold up. What sexual?
Lumbersexual.
What does that mean?
What does that mean to you?
Yeah, sound it out.
Lumbersexual?
Lumbersexual is actually very
You're
girls
attracted
era.
to wood?
No. Lumbersexual is like, there was this big trope in like the 2010s, like when adorkable was the biggest word of the on town. Men would be very lumberjack hooded, living in Williamsburg, living in Brooklyn. Like they would wear a lot of flannel. They have big beards.
Oh,
They
like
wear
the
always
Desi.
a hat. Right, a Desi coded person, but even more of someone who should be chopping wood. Like it is just like this very specific aesthetic.
Jeremy and
So
Broad
is
City.
a lumbersexual
Yes,
attracted to those types or one of those types?
A lumbersexual is one of those types.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
And why is it lumbersexual?
Because they look like lumberjacks.
And that's sexual to them or to who?
To everyone, I guess, was the trope in 2010s.
Okay.
Did you connect?
Did I connect? I zoned out every word he said. But people in Canada, I guess, are interesting too.
People in Canada, people from Calgary are lumbersexual.
Yeah, literally.
So
Wait, where were you in Canada?
Toronto.
Okay.
Have you been to Canada?
I've only been to Montreal and Winnipeg.
Whoa. Those are cool too to go to.
I liked Montreal a lot.
Winnipeg, you hate it.
No, I didn't hate it. Genevieve lives there. I was visiting Genevieve.
Oh
but
my god.
It's not like, a city.
I always forget they always have like 3 Canadians on the show.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
And you know where they also might have 3 Canadians? At Hannah's Retreat.
At Hannah's Retreat, let's get into it.
Oh, let's get into it for real.
Oh my god. So apparently Jack Antonoff and Lena Dunham were dating during the writing of this episode, and they had gone to a retreat thinking that it was going to be chill, but then it was kind of like this. And so they were like, let's write an episode about Lorene and Hannah going here.
Is that real? Where did you find that out?
Inside the episode thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you get to watch that? If
It's
I
just
like,
at the
it's
end.
actually at the end of the episode.
Yeah, you have to go through the credits.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
or there is a playlist on YouTube that has all of them.
Oh my god.
If you dare to
wanna
watch the credits, it'll bring you there.
Oh my god. No, I'm going to that playlist. I'm going to that playlist.
Yeah, check that out.
Yeah.
Next time you're bored.
Well, right. That's a real piece of media we've also lost as well. It's like we used to watch so many shows where afterwards they'd also talk about the
I
show. And I
know.
love that part where you could
Hacks does it.
Hacks, and that's a podcast.
Hacks is bringing it back, because it is a podcast, but it's also a multicam cut video that plays at the end.
Oh my god, you're so right.
It's like, thank God Max knows what we want. What we want.
Yeah. Well, Max is for people with master's degrees.
It is.
Yeah, but I don't have one,
Me
and I don't think
neither.
either of you do either.
No.
Would
It's
you ever go back
beautiful.
to school?
Yes.
Oh my God. Are you gonna?
I want to kind of
What are you gonna study?
creative writing.
Oh, you
I
gotta
wanna
go to
go to-
Iowa.
Stop.
Oh my
That's
God,
so
go to
funny.
Iowa. Really show that girl on TikTok what's up.
That's hilarious. I'll live in that exact house too.
Yeah.
I want to go to like a fully funded program so I don't have to pay for it.
Right.
That's
Absolutely.
the
A lot of them are.
Yeah, I know. That's like hopefully what I'll
Is
do in
Iowa
a couple
fully
of years.
funded?
I don't
think
know,
it
but Iowa's
is.
like the hardest one.
It's the hardest one to get
I'm
into.
not like that.
And I also
I'm not
filmed
trying to do it like
at,
that.
like in Brooklyn.
They would hate me just like her. Like it would be the same exact
Right.
situation. I would be Hannah there, and like
And
it
we
would
saw
be.
how that went.
They would be my ops.
I
and
do think all of Iowa is just Hannah's now. Like enough people have experienced this TV show to know what the Iowa's
True.
workshop is, and now they've all applied
But
to
I
that
need you to
program.
go to a creative writing program where your classmates will like you and not be opposition.
I know. I need that so bad.
Yeah,
I
it
need
wouldn't
that
be
so
right.
bad.
It wouldn't be right. But
Oh.
we asked you to pick like one of your fave episodes. You said this is it. Was it because of this retreat?
Yeah,
What
it
brought
just
you
like
here?
honestly, when you guys asked me to pick my favorite episode, this like just really like popped out. I just think her having this like snapshot of lesbianism is so funny.
Yeah.
Gets funnier every time, and it's so interesting because I feel like there's no like it makes no sense. There's no consequence to it. There's
Yeah.
no like point to it. It's almost like what like am I supposed to even believe that the yoga retreat girl is a lesbian? Like like it doesn't make any sense. And then but I also think that's like what's so real about it because think about I don't know if you guys watch like the Sex Lives of College Girls.
Totally.
And I'm not
Yeah.
trying to like throw shade on that show, but like if this scenario happened on Sex Lives of College Girls, the entire episode would revolve around like what happens next
Be
and
like, Bella's bye.
yeah, exactly. I'd be like, all right, so Hannah would like have
Cheers.
this whole crisis and this whole monologue about like, what am I? What is my label? Blah blah blah. Like she quite literally just like moves on with her life, and like I think that's just such a more real example of what actually like happens, and like
Right.
yeah, and it's so Hannah like she's not doing it like you don't even know if she's like actually turned on in the moment, like she's likely not, like she's just trying to like do this experience.
I'm in the sauna in a weird mood. Like,
yes.
I guess.
I think what you're doing though is choosing to ignore the fact that she went to Oberlin and already went through all this.
Well, but what does she
That's
famously
true.
say? I've never been with a girl, kind of.
She was like, I went to Oberlin, I'm not a monster.
Yeah.
Which is perfect.
And also just like her physical comedy in this too. Like
when she
falls, when she like goes in to kiss the girl and she kind of just like looks around, like it is so perfect. Like I just love every movement of Lena Dunham. And I don't know, I also like one of my other like favorite, I grew up doing theater, and so much of this retreat reminds me of like what like a theater camp would be like. Like I've literally had to do the exercise where like walk with your private part, like walk with your chest. And I'm like in 5th grade in Oliver Twist doing this with like 50-year-old men. And so that gets me. And I also just think like clowning on any sort of like spiritual retreat is so funny. And they do it so perfectly when they're like, yes, it was supposed to start 10 minutes ago, but none of you said anything.
That's
and you're
so
looking
funny.
like it kills me, and it's so real and clever and good. And that's what I love about it.
I love it. I love just like we're telling the stories of women in their 50s.
Yeah.
Where it's like they're all like I think Lorene is really in this place where she's like, I don't know what the next 30 years of my life is gonna look like, and I always thought I had that covered. And it's like cool for her to like listen to these other older women and be like, oh, nobody knows anything and everything is gonna be okay. It's almost like what's the episode? Tad and Lorene and Chinook and Naraz or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm butchering that.
What is that? Which one's that?
The episode where it's like the two couples dinner party.
Oh,
the older,
right. Mm-hmm.
But it's like basically the idea that like I think Lena was trying to show this like of course the show is about being lost in your 20s and feeling confused, and it's literally telling that story, but from the point of view of like you're in your late 50s now and you feel the exact same way.
Yeah.
Like Hannah and her mom are so parallel in so many ways, and this episode just like strengthens that idea of like these two are on the same fucking path in a way that's beautiful.
It's a great setting for an episode of TV, even about living in Brooklyn, right? Because you just made the great point where it's like, how else would Hannah naturally interact with women of an older demographic in a way that doesn't feel forced? It is like at a forced retreat, right? Exactly. Like it is nice to see that this character, who seems like to be the youngest in all the pack, is bringing her. She thinks she's actually, and I said this when I was feeling like Hannah, like she feels like in a way superior to these other people. Even that's why she keeps bringing her phone out. That's why she goes on that hike in a bikini, which is maybe the funniest thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
It's not a bikini. It's a
tankini.
What are they
When
called?
she turned around for the first time, and you see that it has like razor sharp.
Oh yeah, what is it? Not tankini. One piece?
Oh, one kini.
A one
Yeah.
Oh, it's like
It's a one-kini.
It's a monokini. That's what they're called. For the folks at home, it's a monokini.
They'll never stop innovating on the form of female swimwear, which I think is so beautiful.
There was one girl at my Christian summer camp. We weren't allowed to wear 2 pieces, but this girl wore a one kini or a monokini because it's like it still counts.
That's
and she
She's
had the
being
most.
so bikini in this episode.
She had the most fucked up tan for the rest of
Oh my
summer.
God, really?
Yeah, it was like this, but it kind of made her look like she had a tiny waist. You know what I
True.
mean?
It's like those contour dresses
Yeah,
back in
it
the
was
day.
literally contouring.
I should have done that on the show. That's what I should have worn a
Right.
monokini.
Y'all got so tan.
Yeah.
How long are you out there? It's not that long anymore.
I was like outside for 25 days. But the game itself
Damn.
is 26 days. Yeah. It's not as long anymore.
Damn.
Did your skin have noticeable damage to it afterwards?
No, I
They give
honestly
you
think
sunscreen,
that
right?
they do give you sunscreen, but I also like we were shaded a lot of the time.
Okay,
like,
good.
where our shelter was like shaded.
I really don't understand why they don't talk about how you guys are hungry anymore. Did you guys never get asked about that, or they just don't include that?
In the beginning, it was like more of a topic, but then like when they start and like, you know, putting food rewards in, it becomes less like I ate a decent amount. I got a lot of rewards. So there were like good 4 days where I ate like big hefty meals, like 4
Right.
days in a row.
That is awesome.
Can we focus at the meal on hand?
Yeah. Brilliant.
Amazing.
That was so
Really,
good.
I'm
That was
kidding.
so
Keep
good.
going.
No, I love that. Yeah, you guys eating kind of in the forest is so them eating in this episode.
Literally.
Well,
yeah.
food is bonding, and bonding is community, and that's what we learned from this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I will say my mom, 3 days ago, did come back from a wellness retreat for 2 days. It was very similar to the wellness retreat that Hannah went on, and it is like what they don't show is like how they exhaust these women to an inch of their lives. So of course they're like all in fight or flight mode, because my mom did 4 workout classes during her every single day.
Oh yeah, I was on the phone.
4 a day?
4 a day.
I was on the phone with Tracy when she was talking about it, and she's like, well, all the classes are free, so I gotta make the most
Yeah, you
of the
have
weekend.
to make the most.
So she's like, I'm forcing myself to go to like HIIT and then yoga and then a second yoga.
Right.
And then she's like, I have 20 minutes for snack and then I gotta go to like
the
a
thing
workshop.
is, it's like you need to, this retreat is to heal your mind. Afterwards, you do need a different retreat to heal your body.
Yeah.
Because they work you to an inch of your life there.
Oh my gosh.
I feel bad because she's 60, but she also like knows how to make $1 work, you
Well,
know?
Did she make friends?
So she went with her 3 closest friends.
Okay.
All of them brought different baggage there, of course. And what had ended up happening is they all, because of their varied baggage, they all signed up for different classes. So even though she went for 4 of her closest friends,
she never saw
she
them.
never saw them.
That is too funny.
And she had two beds in her room. And I was like, you didn't text me once. I would have loved to go to Canyon Ranch.
Oh my god. Then you could have been Hannah.
But she said that the food was really unhealthy there, and she was upset by it. She like some of the options there were fried chicken. And she said, you know, I can do fried chicken at home. I go to these retreats to kind of deprive
To
myself
have
of
lentil
that.
Well,
Yeah.
she can, you know, 4 workout classes, she can have a piece of fried
Yeah,
chicken.
she earned
No,
it.
she of course
burned it
earns that, but
off,
you
yeah.
have to understand, my mom's not a woman like that. She doesn't like, she's not like, she's never been known to like restrict, like she has
Okay,
very
okay.
good eating habits.
Oh, nice.
She's going here so she can find lentils, right? Like, because my mom
Right.
has an addiction
Aw.
to chocolate, and it's like, you're not helping her cut that off here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should have been giving out like cottage cheese mousse.
Cottage cheese
Stop.
avocado mousse. That's a big
Avocado
one.
mousse.
Vegans love to be like, guess what the secret ingredient is? And you're like, I don't know, avocado. Every single time. I love it. Love their asses.
What does Hannah say this episode when the girl like comes up on her? She's like, I thought it was. She's like, I'm allergic to nuts. I thought it was nuts. Like, remember when she
Oh, the
spits that
bread.
thing?
She spits up the thing. She's like, "Oh, I'm allergic to bread." And
I
it's
thought it
like-
was a nut. Yeah, it's so funny.
Oh.
It is so like getting caught doing something you're not supposed to, and then coming up with the weirdest excuse ever. And it's like nobody needs that from you, girl.
Well, by the way, bread looks like nuts sometimes.
True.
In
It's
what
true.
country?
Like, if you take a
The
little
retreat.
in the
The
retreat.
spring queening.
In Queenstown, USA.
When something's tan, it could be anything.
No, you're right.
Yeah, that's what they built. Cake or what? Never cut that.
Cake or what?
It's like, what is that show called? Cake. Is it Cake?
Oh
Right,
yeah,
totally.
yeah. That one I know. That one I know.
Is
You
it
know that
Cake
show?
Is it
hosted by
Cake?
Bill Hader, but not his
Bill
friend.
Hader.
His friend
Another SNL guy.
who looks kind of the same.
Yeah, but
What
not
is
as
that
fun.
guy's
I don't
name?
know. I never will.
Wait, the one who's currently on SNL.
Mikey Day.
Mikey Day. Oh yeah, good call.
I don't know if he's still there.
I don't-
Okay, there's
I don't-
one who's
I
like
think
young
he
right
is.
now. The other young guy who's not Marcello or Marcello or whatever, who everyone's saying looks like Bill Hader. I just keep seeing it. I keep scrolling
Oh.
past it.
Michael Longfellow?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's hotter than Michael Longfellow
yeah.
to me. Oh wait, maybe not.
Young Jimmy Fallon
No,
on
I'm
SNL was hot.
Always cracking. Always breaking character.
Oh my God. Did you watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade?
Like just generally, like growing up, or like
Right
this
on.
year.
This Christmas or this Thanksgiving with Jimmy Fallon was blackout drunk on
No,
like
that's
That's
so
awesome.
real though. That's so real.
I'm still reeling.
Yeah, you're making reels of it.
I'm
That's
making
reeling.
reels. Okay, we have to cut to our second
Yeah.
break. And we're back. Okay, we
I
have
some
to ask.
important questions for you.
Girl, get your Glock. It's rapid fire time. We're
Okay.
gonna ask you a series of rapid fire questions. Please answer as quickly as you can. Are you ready?
Yes,
Are you schoolgirl? Or are you gonna get schooled, girl?
I'm gonna get schooled, girl.
What's your favorite utensil?
Fork.
Would you rather live in a gorgeous building with a view of an ugly building, or an ugly building with a view of a gorgeous building?
I'd rather live in the gorgeous building.
Are you the voice of your generation or a voice of a generation?
The voice of my generation.
Boom.
Are you incapable of loving someone who's kind to you?
No.
Can you rush a cherry blossom?
Huh?
Do adults follow rules?
Yes.
Are you capable of centering yourself emotionally and spiritually despite your parents?
No.
Did you go to Oberlin, or are you a monster?
Both.
Does a symmetrical face make a person soft?
No.
Period.
I didn't agree with a single one of those answers.
Seriously?
No, I'm kidding.
I feel like a symmetrical face makes someone like so hard.
Oh, really?
I agree. I feel like because they don't know the real world beats you up whether you're beautiful or not.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: a symmetrical face feeds into the premise of the halo effect, where it's like we look kindly to those we deem as attractive, and one of the indicators of beauty is symmetry in the face. So Jessa having a beautiful face makes you want to act kinder to her. Halo
what
effect.
the hell? Sure.
What the hell? Sure.
That's science.
We have one more segment on the podcast.
That outfit in Brooklyn.
That's where we compare Brooklyn then to Brooklyn now. Or in this case, New Jersey then to New Jersey now. Now, I would say you're one of the more Gen Z guests we had on the podcast. We have a lot of millennials. What do you think stands out in this episode as like our generation isn't like that? Or they're exactly like that.
Adam wearing like a tight green button-up shirt buttoned to like his chin.
Yeah, what was that all about?
I don't think straight men are doing that.
Well, I have to bring up something.
Are men buttoning?
This is Lily Rose depth coated trench coat button to the top.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah. Perfect. That was a missed opportunity on my part. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like we weren't in Brooklyn too much this episode.
Yeah,
the monokini is definitely happening.
The
on Rockaway Beach
is happening in Rockaway Beach, and fingers crossed, Ashbury too.
Do you think this was definitely remember like that picture of the girl in the red bikini that everyone posted?
Oh yeah, it's on Evan's Instagram right now.
Yes, the one piece.
Every time I have something important to say, I take that photo and I add it to the caption.
Yes. That picture really was so special, and it still is. But like, I feel like she kind of was doing that in this episode a little bit.
Right, she won the giveaway.
She had like an open bag. She was the only one who
for years we've wondered who won the giveaway. It was Hannah Horvath.
Mystery solved.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I love it. What is Jessa wearing to dinner?
She is wearing red floral, and I want to say pantsuit. No, it's like a one piece.
Oh yeah, she looks chic as fuck. And then Miss Lola is dressed in kind of like
bodycon gay coated with a skirt.
It's very Bushwick now, honestly. Like a girl would wear that to like the Bushwick.
Her top, they've done iterations for this 4,000 times for gay men, where they take like essentially like webbing, they turn it into a bodysuit that's like so tight to the body and has a million cutouts in it. I will say Lola Kirk was the first one to wear this.
Wow.
But if you go to any gay club in New York City, they're all pulling a Lola Kirk.
Wow.
Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
We need to email her that clip.
It's like one of those gay guy brands where it's like only gay men have only heard about it, and if you have a six pack, especially you've heard about it.
So Greg's heard about it. So Greg has one. Yeah.
When Greg is featured in one of those, put it on your Instagram story.
It will be. It will be.
I'm trying to think what else. I feel like everything's kind of timeless in this episode.
Oh, here's the biggest thing I'd walk away with if I had to pick one thing in this episode that really does stand out. It's a concept that's like Shoshanna, and we could have said this before, but it's like Shoshanna would never have to move to Tokyo in today's climate. Like they would have made her a remote worker, right?
Right.
So true.
And like her life would have never spiraled in this absurd
way. She'd be in
way.
Denver.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like
wow.
Because of COVID, Shoshanna would have never had to move to Japan, but unfortunately, she never faced a pandemic, so she did have to uproot her life.
That is
true. Or
true.
fortunately, because my dad used to have to always travel for work when his like companies were based in Europe and America, but now they never asked that of him to go all the way to Europe, only to Pennsylvania now.
I know that used to be a huge part of my dad's story, but now he just goes to Chicago.
Yeah, men don't travel to Europe and America anymore. Like they'll.
You know what is different though? What's it called? Like Hannah and the no phone rule. She would have such like. She would throw some fierce language. Like we didn't have boundary language back then, but she's still doing it before any of us knew we could do that. But now that there's language to it, like she would eat Brandon Scott Jones up for lunch.
Both of these are incredible points. Right. This is why I love this. Yeah, you guys are right.
And I would say the only other thing is that what you were talking about it earlier, where it's like, this show never dares to be really that bi, even though we're talking about Brooklyn. So it's very interesting that the one storyline that's bi is taking out place outside of Brooklyn. And I do think it's actually awesome that Lena Dunham doesn't write a lot about being bi, A, because she's like not super familiar with it.
Right.
And B, it's like if she talked about being bi, there'd be no TV shows for us to write.
Yeah.
It'd be like every topic would have been covered, but thank God she didn't touch sexuality in that way.
She's so selfless.
Yeah, now
yeah.
Bella can be bi and the
Yeah.
sex life
Exactly.
But
girls.
if they did that in Girls First, Bella would have never stood a chance.
We wouldn't know Renee Rapp's
Right,
name.
exactly.
We owe it all to Lena.
we do.
I made my girlfriend watch the episode with me last night, and like one of my favorite things that she pointed out was she's like, it's such an insane extra character detail that they made Hannah get in bed with no underwear but a bra on.
Yeah.
And that's how she slept. And I was like, you're so right. Like that's such a that was like super intentional and like meticulously planned out, but like so funny.
It's trench coat button to the top.
Yeah.
We'll bring it back.
Extremely.
It is so like even in tiny furniture, it's like you see that in a way that like we never get in Sex in the City. We never get in all TV shows where it's like this is how a girl be dressing.
Yeah.
Well, to be watching this much Broad City and come back to Girls, you realize like Broad City is awesome and covers a lot of interesting topics, but because it's not like it's based in surrealism where the show is like about hyper-realism, it really shows you like how many topics they're not able to cover that girls can really touch upon. And that's why you hear so many lines cover like the conversation where Abigail's like, and I keep bringing this up, but it's like, this is so real, which is like, I thought it's just about my whole trip into McDonald's, right? It's like, that is so funny. And that is one of the biggest truths in the world. It's like McDonald's keeps its product consistent across the world still to today because its whole thing is about nostalgia and familiarity.
Yeah.
And that's what their whole brand is built around. You can walk into any McDonald's across the world and you'll always be served the same similar menu and the same feeling. And yeah,
Do you think that was a Judd Apatow note? Because Judd Apatow famously
McDonald's.
loves
Oh yeah.
oh my God, it's so funny.
It's like 5 seasons
Yeah,
in. He's like,
literally.
I still love that place.
Right. Well, McDonald's, especially for older generations, could be the one thing that united them all. Now we feel like polarized about it, but like
Of
when our
course.
parents were growing up, it's like McDonald's was the one cross line between everyone's story.
Are you a McDonald's head?
I'm more of like Wendy's if I had to choose.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like they aren't
No,
having
McDonald's
Wendy's
have
here.
fallen off.
Well, I just showed you the meal deals you could get.
I love the meal deals. $1 for 20 nuggets. Yeah, sign me up.
I made Evan
What?
download the app, and the app gives you these things where it's like, this week you can get 20 nuggets for $1.
Holy shit.
And it's like,
There's one piece of information you leave from this podcast is that McDonald's actually it's an amazing deal still, but you
On
have to
the
have
app,
access to the
but you
internet.
have to download the app.
Do I have to like make an account?
Yeah.
Legit.
Okay.
But there's
But like
points.
worth it.
Yeah.
That's
It's like worth it if you're like
crazy.
really in the mood for a giant Diet Coke. Like just put in the 2 minutes and
McDonald's Sprite.
then nothing hits quite like that.
McDonald's Sprite.
Oh my God. Well, thank you so much for being on the pod.
Thank
we
you
love you so
guys.
much.
Yeah, this
I
was
love you
so
guys.
fun.
It
Where
really
can the people find
was.
you?
Teeny Chill with 3 L's on Instagram. Teeny Chill with 2 L's on Twitter.
Oh my God,
And
you're
Blue
tweeting.
Sky.
Oh my
Oh,
God,
yeah.
and Blue Sky. We've got to get on Blue Sky, you guys.
I know.
Yeah.
I like have made 2 tweets on Blue. I've made 2
Two blue skies.
skeets,
Yeah.
but I really
Are they
be
called
on Twitter.
skeets?
Same.
Yeah,
It's
and of
really...
course, just like Hannah would be, I'm on Substack as well.
Oh my God, wait, what's your Substack about?
It's like very Hannah Horvath coded. It's like personal essays.
Oh my God, we'll link
Yay.
it because people are going to eat that up.
Literally. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode
I
of
hope
First
you
Three
like
Girls
this.
We Got.
Yeah, dipping our toes back
We
into
love
girls.
you.
It feels good.
Yeah, and check us out on
Thank
Patreon.
you for doing that for me.
Yeah, of course.
Honored. Love it. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.